Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time in God's Word. Our call out today goes to Adam Wallace. He's one of our subscribers and financial partners from Chesapeake, Virginia. Adam, thank you so much for your partnership, brother. We cannot do this without guys like you at our back. Today we're going to be in Nehemiah chapter 11, and I'm going to read verses 25 down through 36. It reads, or at least it starts this way. It says, "And as for the villages," remember Nehemiah is describing who was living in the city and then who was apportioned to live in the villages nearby. "With their fields, some of the people of Judah lived in," and then he begins to name the cities and towns around which many of those who didn't live in the city lived. Now, I could easily skip over this text since reading the names is, well, very tricky, and actually locating the towns and the villages is nearly impossible because they don't exist today as they existed then. But this text is the realization of Israel's long-lost dream, or at least a long-awaited dream. It's the return after captivity and the reestablishment of the greater community of Israel, even though right now they're living under the Persian Empire. Now, I cannot tell you if this was all a part of Nehemiah's vision, but I do know it was all a part of God's vision. According to Isaiah, the next stage of the vision would, of course, include returning to Israel, but also it would include a prophet wandering in the desert named John, who would proclaim the way for the one and only prophet, priest, and king, that is Jesus Christ. And Jesus then would establish a whole new kingdom, one made without hands. But for now, God guided his people out of captivity and back toward a life of community. And this new chapter in their life was centered around Jerusalem, with their homes spread across various towns and villages nearby. And this gives us a beautiful twofold lesson for us today. Number one, we need to remember that we have a king and a kingdom, that we as believers have a king and a kingdom. We need to remember this, that no king or kingdom is as great as God's king and his kingdom. Like Nehemiah, we live under the rule of vain and selfish kings. That will always be the case. Our kings and our kingdoms will always be corrupt regardless of where we live and in the time that we live, China, Russia, or even in the good old US of A. And while we want a better king, and I know you do, there is no king greater than Jesus and no kingdom better than the one that he has already established. Number two, during this awaiting time, we need a community. We need community. We must also remember that community is a vital and essential part of our journey. Believers need to stick together and do life together. A spiritual community isn't just nice, it's necessary. Living out our faith with one another is required for all believers until the King and his kingdom come again. So let me give you something very practical to do today. If you are not yet a part of a spiritual community, you need to find one. In our busy world today where individualism reigns supreme and forming spiritual connections can be challenging, you need to be in spiritual community. This makes it even more crucial today. And I will warn you, it is work to find it sometimes. And for those of you out there today who know it's needed and feel a call like Nehemiah to step into this time and lead and provide it, I want you to know that I'm behind you. But I'm going to make it even easier for you today. If you feel called to lead a group of men, I'm going to send you a copy of one of my best and newest Bible study handbooks for free, so that you can start your own group. I have a brand new, easy-to-use guide entitled 30 Men Who Lived with Conviction that'll take you all the way from the beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible, walking with famous men of the Bible who lived by faith. 30 easy-to-lead discussions for men, for any group. It's so easy that you almost need no prep whatsoever, and it helps drive men into discussion and gets them into the Bible. And yes, I will give you these books at no charge if you have 3 to 5 men that you've identified that you can gather into a small group. So if you're ready and you need community and want to give it a shot in leading it, reach out to me at the little link below, and I will help you get started. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.